Hey! My name is Leah Elizabeth and welcome to my channel, Finance Rules. I'm a financial investor entrepreneur from Toronto, Canada, and I make videos every Thursday about personal finance. So make sure that you're subscribed, hit that button below, and ring that bell for notifications in order to see my future videos. Also be sure to follow me on social media to stay connected. Alright, let's talk finance. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking to you all about the Canadian TFSA. Try and say that 10 times. TFSAs, 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 TFSAs. I think I actually did it. Personal win for the day. No, but seriously, I'm going to be answering the typical 5 questions of anything, the who, what, where, when, for TFSAs. So before I get into the what, let's answer the easy who. And no, they're not in Whoville. So who is eligible to open up a TFSA account? You gotta be a Canadian, and you gotta have a SIN number, social insurance number, and you have to be 18 years of age or older. Alright, so what is a TFSA? Okay, let me just break it down for you a little bit, okay? It's a tax-free savings account. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, it's more like an investment account, not really a savings account. Because honestly, you can just get a checkings account or a savings account easily at any financial institution. You can make what, like 1% or 2% interest, which is basically breaking even because inflation is 2%. So if you're even making 2% on your savings account, then your money is basically just staying as is. It's breaking even. It's not growing, it's not dying, but it's just kind of there. So TFSAs were brought into Canada by the Canadian government in 2009, so about 11 years ago. And it's to encourage Canadians to invest their money and save. And it's not just for retirement purposes, because the alternative to a TFSA is an RRSP, which I'll get into in next week's Thursday video. The TFSA is so that you can save up for something, not just retirement, but say you wanted to buy a car and you were saving up, or you wanted to get that dream honeymoon or dream wedding, whatever have you. This is the perfect vehicle for you in order to save your money effectively and grow it at the same time, because it's not just a savings account, it's more like an investment account. Alright, so I want you to think about a TFSA as kind of like a bucket. So imagine this bucket is my TFSA. Now you might be wondering, well, what goes in this TFSA bucket? Well, for one thing, you can put your cash. Just let it stay cash forever and not grow. And maybe put that cash in a high-yielding savings account in the TFSA, but to be honest, that's kind of boring. You're only gonna make nothing. And this $5 is just pretty much gonna stay $5 next year, and the next year after that, and the next year after that. And it's not even getting compounded, it's just $5. Heck, you can put stocks. You can put mutual funds. ETFs. GICs. And by the way, if you are a very risk-averse investor, which basically means that you don't want to take any risk because you're scared of this and you just kind of want to dip your toes in the market, then start with a GIC. I mean, typically they have higher interest than just like a high savings account, but your money is often locked in for a certain amount of time, like 6 months, a year, 2 years. But it's pretty safe. Like, it's guaranteed by the Canadian government. It's one step above a savings account. Bonds. Alright, so the real beauty of having a TFSA, it being tax-free, say you decide to sell some of your stocks. It's capital gains tax-free. Or say that you make some income through dividends. Income tax-free. Say you have GICs or a high-interest savings account and you make interest. Tax-free. I don't know if you heard that or not, but it's tax-free. So say you were smart and you bought Tesla a year ago and you're up $100,000 in profit. You can take that money, that $100,000 out of your TFSA tax-free. You don't have to add it to your income. You don't have to pay capital gains tax, interest, nothing. You get that $100,000 cash. Though there are some caveats, like when you withdraw, there's some, complications, but we'll get to that later. We'll focus on what's a TFSA for now. So all those rich people who are, evading taxes and they know all these loopholes? This is the legal version, a TFSA. You can literally, legally evade taxes through a TFSA. Though there is a limit to it, so don't get too excited. You can't just put millions and millions of dollars in there because then nobody would ever have to pay taxes ever again. There is a contribution limit, which I'll speak about soon. Also to note that this is after-tax money that you're putting into the TFSA. And what I mean by that is when you go to work and you get your paycheck, they've already deducted your taxes for income and they send that to the government. So they've already deducted how much you've made. And then you take your after-tax income and then you invest it into a TFSA. So it's after-tax money. But then after that, once your job has taken that income tax from you, if you put it into a TFSA, there's no more taxing. I know taxing can be quite taxing, but a TFSA is not taxing. Alright, so pro tip here, the only bad thing about a TFSA is that if you have foreign stocks or ETFs, so say Apple, that's out of Canada, it's foreign, or an ETF like the VOO, which are some of my favorites, you basically have to pay a 15% withholding tax on those. So, technically for those you get taxed at 15%. But if you have all Canadian stocks, all Canadian ETFs, there's no tax. So anything that's listed on, say, the NASDAQ, which is an American stock exchange, would be taxed 15% withholding tax. Just something to note. Alright, so you might be asking yourself, well, Leah, this sounds great and all, but where do I set myself up with a TFSA account? Well, I got the answer for you. Any financial institution. Like here in Canada, the big banks, TD, RBC, Scotiabank, BMO, or you can go with an online broker, which is my personal favorite, Wealthsimple. I actually personally have a Scotiabank iTrade account, which is built into my TFSA, which I buy stocks and ETFs through. And I also have a Wealthsimple account, which I also set up another TFSA, which I'm buying ETFs. Click on the link in the description bar below because I have my own landing page with Wealthsimple, so that if you sign up with Wealthsimple and deposit at least $500 into it, and it doesn't have to be a TFSA, then you get $50 cash. I'm really enjoying my Wealthsimple account, and I'll discuss Wealthsimple in a future video, so stay tuned for that. So like me, you can have TFSAs opened up in different financial institutions. Like I have mine at Scotiabank and Wealthsimple. It's just that you have to manage your contribution limit on your own, where if you went with one institution, like say Scotia, they will inform you that you've reached your limit clearly because they see no other accounts, right? They just see for what you have with them. And the CRA is, onto people who do it because these financial institutions send CRA all the information of how much you've deposited and how much you've withdrawn. So CRA combines it all and realizes if you've made an over contribution, which you get penalized. Because, you can't just put 40,000 into one TFSA, 40,000 in another, 40,000 in another, and so on and so forth, because the CRA will catch up to you. And I'll talk about the CRA penalty in just a bit. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about when you should open up a TFSA. Basically, you can open up a TFSA on your 18th birthday, on the day, and you can lump sum the entire year's worth of contribution limit in one go. So that's what I would advise for you to do. The day you turn 18, just maximize that contribution limit right off the bat if you can afford it. You know, you can save up to when you're 18 so that you can put in, like this year the limit is $6,000. So you can put in that full $6,000 lump sum. But if you can't do the lump sum and you kind of want to budget it, you can take that $6,000 divided by 12 months of the year, and you can deposit $500 a month into the TFSA to maximize the contribution limit for that year. Or who knows, maybe on your 18th birthday, you get a $6,000 gift from grandma and grandpa. I don't know your life circumstances, right? So you take that $6,000 and you lump sum it right into that TFSA, and you are set. You are rearing to go, because that money is going to be growing and compounding for the maximum number of years that you can have a TFSA. So now I'm going to talk about the confusing part that people find about TFSAs, which is the contribution limit. So like I said before, you can't just contribute all your money into a TFSA. There are limits. TFSAs are simple, flexible, there's no fees. The only thing that people get confused about is contribution limit. So when the TFSA was created in 2009, the beginning annual limit for 2009 was $5,000. So $5,000 is the maximum that you could contribute in 2009. In 2013, they increased it to $5,500, and this is basically to keep up with inflation. And then in 2019, they increased it again to $6,000. And you can expect that probably next year, in 2021, it's going to be $6,000 or maybe $6,500. So this is the thing about the TFSA contribution limit. You have the maximum that you can invest in for that year, and any unused portion gets transferred to the next year, so you never lose out on contribution room. So say in 2009 you didn't deposit any money out of that $5,000 contribution limit. In 2010 you again have another contribution limit at $5,000, but since you didn't contribute the prior year, then you have this year's contribution limit plus last year's unused portion, which is $5,000. So $5,000 plus $5,000 is $10,000 contribution limit. Know your limit, play within it, right? So that's contribution room by year. It might be a little bit more simpler if I talk about it as an age. So if you were 18 years of age or older in 2009, your contribution limit is $69,500. So if you were born in the year 1991 or earlier, this means that you are of the age of 29 or older, meaning your contribution limit right now is $69,500. So if you have not deposited anything into a TFSA yet, that's how much you can put this year. Next year, it's probably going to be around $6,000 again, in which you can add that on top of the $69,500 next year. So if you were born in 2002, that means that you're 18 this year, which means your contribution limit is $6,000 for this year. Hey, it pays to be old in this country, doesn't it? Not bad. No, but likely if you're under 18, you might not have a job, you might not be making money, you might not even have a bank account yet. So this program is really for 18 years of age or older. Rated R. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to be talking about when you want to withdraw from your TFSA, and also what is that over-limit penalty that the CRA charges. So, I don't know, heaven forbid your car breaks down and now you need $10,000 in order to fix it. Now, TFSAs make for amazing emergency money funds because the money in it is growing. It's not just sitting there in a bank account, and there's no fees to withdraw or deposit, and you can take or put money in as frequently or whenever you want and how much you want. It's totally up to you. But if you're maxed out on your contribution, it's really important to understand the consequences of withdrawing. So let's say you've got your life together and you've maxed out your TFSA, $69,500. Then a withdrawal will provide contribution room for the next year. So if you take out $10,000 from your TFSA in order to fix your car, then you're going to have to wait until next calendar year to contribute back that $10,000, as well as that new year's contribution. So pro tip here, if you're looking to withdraw from your account and you have some time flexibility and you can decide when to withdraw at the end of the year, because the next month in January, you can contribute it right back in. So you don't lose out on that $10,000 of investment growth. So by the last day in February, all financial institutions, RBC, Scotia, Wealthsimple, are all required to submit a TFSA record to the CRA for every individual's TFSA. What tattletales, eh? Come on. CRA employees, they kind of get a bad rep, but they're really not that bad. I mean, say if you did over-contribute and it was a total accident and you didn't mean to and whatnot, in the first instance, the CRA will likely send you a letter warning you that you have reached an over-limit, and they'll give you the opportunity to withdraw that amount right off the bat so that you don't get a penalty. But if you do not pay attention to your mail, or you don't listen to the CRA and you don't think that they'll find out or whatever have you, and you keep your over-contribution limit, the CRA will charge you 1% of the over-limit amount, not the total amount, just the over-limit amount. So say if you over-contributed $2,000, that would mean that 1% of that is a penalty, which means that you'll be paying $20 a month penalty to the CRA. You can even auto-contribute into your TFSA, so that $500 can be withdrawn from your account and deposited into a TFSA automatically, and you don't even have to think about it. Alright, I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. I know that it was a lot of information. I hope you took notes. So in my next video, I'm going to be talking about RRSPs, which is better for retirement's sake. I mean, TFSAs make great savings investment accounts, but RRSPs is great if you have a high income and if you're looking to retire later on in life and you want to save for that. RRSP is a great way to do that, so make sure that you're subscribed to my channel, and I'll see you in next Thursday's video. And let me know in the comments section below, do you have a TFSA? Are you maxed out? Are you achieving maximum potential? Or do you rather RRSP? Let me know. And also don't forget, sign up with Wealthsimple and get your free $50 with a deposit of $500. Bye!